Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, I just wanted to talk about a little bit of self care and maintenance. A little bit of that taking care of the body that we're responsible for. And I guess this starts with a little bit of philosophy, what I think about ourselves. In today's world, we hear anybody talk about selfishness and personal gain and these such things. And I worry that in a world where we put so much emphasis on people's selfishness and people's self-interest, and we talk about things like narcissism and main character syndrome. We talk about these things all the time, right? And I guess in that, I think the message there's an important message that gets lost or misconstrued in the minds of a lot of people, and that is the message that we need to put ourselves first. We need to love ourselves first. Because how can you be useful? Like if you think of yourself as a tool doing something for somebody else, don't you have to be in good working order in order to be maximally useful? Isn't it possible to have a tool that's broken actually be counterproductive or cause the job to go backwards? Do you want to be that kind of tool, that kind of person? Or do you want to be a well-charged, well-managed tool that can pretty much do anything at will, that can choose how you behave, that you can choose where you fit into the world, that can choose how to maximize what your skills are and choose how to help people the best? Because a lot of people who well-intentioned, don't get me wrong, this is not an error of character. It's an error usually of knowledge or discipline. Because if you don't know that you need to take care of yourself to be optimal, then, well, you're not going to do it. And if you find it too hard to take care of yourself, then you may not do it. But you can still have that problem of neglecting yourself and still mean to do good for others. The problem with that is that when you're not well, are you actually pushing wellness onto others? Is what you're doing for them actually going to be good and productive? Now, of course, this depends. I'm not going to say anybody who goes down and just volunteers to, work at a homeless shelter or soup kitchen or something like that. You can go and you can give freely and you can be heavily useful in a productive manner. But I guess what I'm talking about more is being support for your friends and family, being an actual team player at work, or being part of the group in whatever activities you participate in, right? That teamwork matters and your role in that team matters. And the healthier you are, the better your team will do. And usually the more people who do this start having exponential gains throughout the group. This is one of those things, if you can find a friend group where everybody's growing, that's the kind of people that can do great things together. They all help each other to believe better things. They're all healthy, but they're all pursuing their own individual ambitions as well. And that becomes very powerful to have a dynamic group of people all working together. And the only way that happens is if each of those people finds a way to bring themselves to a state that is healthier and more productive so that they can give more to others without having to sacrifice anything for themselves. See, that's the goal, right? There's a certain point that for exercise, for example, if we go out and we exercise, we can raise our health to a certain point where we can get through life, to where we can do other things. But we can exercise more and then we can have extra muscle, which sure gives us the power to lift more at a time. So maybe we can do more in short bursts so that there's a power advantage, but there's also an endurance advantage, right? You get to go and endure more. So if you work out, if you have strong muscles, you may only work out an hour a day, but that may over time give you the ability to work 6, 8, 10, 12 hours of a lesser effort at a time. And so by working out, maybe we're giving ourselves the ability to help people move better or help people with, physical labor better. And the same goes for like the way we help each other, support each other, emotionally as well, because this is a big, big problem in society, right? We don't support each other emotionally. And it's interesting. We do a lot of different things. Sometimes we just encourage people blindly without pointing out a fault or something that would probably be more useful to point out to them, because we don't have the capacity to be direct, or we haven't developed the self-confidence to feel like directness is worthwhile, or we will undervalue what we think we know about things and not tell them because we think our knowledge is bad. Or we might just we might just not say anything. This is real common among men, right? I'm not going to bother my friends with my problems. Fuck that. They don't want to hear about that. So let's just shut up, drink, and throw some more darts, right? Like that's another thing that we do. And that's another weakness, because that is a failing of character to understand that people need social support, emotional support. And by allowing ourselves to remain in a group of friends that doesn't foster healthier behavior, aren't we failing then? And wouldn't we do better if we worked on ourselves? Wouldn't we do better if we understood these concepts more? Wouldn't it be better if we pushed some of the ideas that we need to all grow, we need to all have support, we all need to show each other, love and respect? And I just think we could live in a better world. And all of that starts with us being better. It all starts, and this is the thing, right? Like we hear about this where, well, you don't want to look selfish. So, well, if you're sitting around spending all your time working on you, are you being selfish? Not. Some people would say yes, some people would say no. It all depends on how you want to look at it. I say it doesn't matter. I say that the only path to altruism is selfishness. That's what I believe. I believe until you find a way to get yourself to at least some minimum healthy level, you're not really going to be out there helping people in any systematic way. You might be able to join in and help somebody else's cause, like volunteering at a soup kitchen. Or you might be able to volunteer and tag along to somebody else's, whatever somebody else is doing. You may be able to join into that. You may be able to help out. That's certainly a thing. But if you want the ability to actually to show up for people with a level of authority that makes your support help them, if you want to show up with a level of understanding that will teach people, you have to learn that yourself. If you want to help people with work, you have to be in shape enough to work for them. And that's, I guess the shape exam, or the being in shape, that kind of works. Like it's like we can exercise our psychological knowledge and skills, and then we're better equipped to psychologically help people. Physically, this works. Emotionally, this works. Like all of these skills we can develop. And then we are a more valid or a more well-rounded method of supporting people. We can be better friends by taking care of ourselves with these people. And you know what? None of it's glamorous. That's why I think so many few of us care about this. I think that's why most of us don't focus on ourselves, because why would I put in the hard work to myself? Maybe I don't care that I'm fat. Why would my friends care that I'm fat? Well, it's not about me being fat that is a failing to other people. It is about the fact that if I was stronger, I wouldn't be wore out so quickly. I wouldn't feel the need to be to try to avoid when, somebody needs help moving or somebody needs help with somebody. Like the more in shape I am, the more ready I am to go with that. And the same thing with like mental adaptations, right? I can be ready for new things. I can have a mindset that is open to new experience. I can have a mindset that is open to somebody else's perspective or experience, so that I can actually give them something useful that makes sense to the way that they see the world as well, if they do need support from me. And all of that comes from working on myself first. And it's not glamorous, and it's not easy, and it's almost never really noticed. And that makes it hard, and that makes it less than desirable, because like we live in a world, right, where people can go out, like there's these idiot nuisance streamers out there that they go And they just bother people so that they can get likes on the internet. Like, I can understand getting carried away in the likes on the internet. Of course, I examine my videos and, well, which ones do well? Should I talk more about that? Or should I talk about something that sounds like that? Or like the chasing of the numbers, like it's a thing that I have to actively see. I have to refocus on myself, that this isn't a chase for the numbers. This is something I'm doing for the reasons I'm doing. Maybe that's another video. What are the reasons I do this? Because they're kind of weird. But at the end of the day, the only way that we have anything to give is if we obtain something. Consider some of these like wealthy billionaires that are philanthropists now. Bill Gates put some tens of billions of dollars or something into this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They've traveled the world trying to research new ways to produce food, eradicating polio around the world, a number of good things that this organization does. But years ago, Bill Gates was I mean, he seemed like he was hell bent on world domination, for lack of a better way of saying it. He wanted to do everything. He wanted to be the biggest, the best, the baddest ass. And then that all changed. I think it was the antitrust trials, right? Like when he was going through the trials and having to deal with, the government and courts trying to break apart his business and say he had a monopoly and all of that. And on the backside of that, he ended up joining this billionaire pledge to give away half of his wealth by the time or at his death, I think is the pledge. But he's done all these wonderful things, and none of those would have been possible if he wasn't a selfish prick in the first place. So does that make him a selfish prick, or does that make him a man who changed the world? Well, both can be true, and that's fine too. I'd like to get there without doing the selfish prick part, but at the end of the day, I can't give away what I don't have. I can't give you knowledge if I haven't spent time learning it. I can't give you support if I don't understand your perspective. I can't give you help physically if I'm not doing something to make myself strong enough for what you might need help with. And all of that is taking care of me first. All of that depends on me being healthy enough first. And that's the only way I can help another person. So I said it before, and I'll say it again. Altruism starts by taking care of yourself. Anyway, I suppose that's all I got to say about that. So with that, be well.